For several years, the credit card community has been speculating on the next premium hotel card. I imagine if there were Kalshi bets on this, the odds on favor would be Hyatt, followed by maybe ISG, and then the field. Whoever bet on Wyndham, man, enjoy the payday. Yes, to almost everyone's surprise, given that Wyndham and premium hotels typically aren't associated in the same sentence unless there is the word not, Wyndham dropped the $395 Earner Premier card. Finally, in a space that has been dominated by Marriott and Hilton, we finally have a new player that we can pit against the mainstays. Of course, if you're loyal to one of these particular chains, it's a no-brainer to get that chain's card. And so, in this video, we're going to compare the Wyndham Earner Premier, the Hilton Aspire, and the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant from the perspective of a hotel free agent who simply wants to get the best value for their money. The value can come from hotel-related benefits, other travel-related benefits, non-travel benefits, and earning multipliers are categories for comparison. Also, as much as all of these three cards have annual fees that put it in the premium tier, the Hilton Aspire is more expensive at $550, while the Bonvoy Brilliant is even more expensive at $650, and so if they offer a comparable thing to the Wyndham Earner Premier, then naturally you have to give the edge to the Earner Premier. One last thing, I'm sure that many of you are already drafting up the comments saying something like, what about the Ritz-Carlton card? No doubt another premium hotel card, the one that's only available to you if you product change from another Chase Bonvoy card, and so it comes with no welcome offer. Also, to not overcrowd the field, we're gonna leave this card out of this one. Hotel benefits can be further broken down into free or discounted nights, as well as elite status. Starting with the former, the Wyndham Premier offers a $100 calendar year credit for spending $100 or more at select Wyndham brands, 30,000 anniversary points, a free night worth up to 30,000 points if you stay 5 or more nights in a calendar year, a 25% discount for all points redemptions, and discounted cash bookings. Wyndham maintains an award chart that currently has 3 tiers, 7,500 points, 15,000 points, and 30,000 points, though after September 15th, there will be 4 tiers, 5,000, 15,000, 30,000, and 45,000. The $100 credit is best for a modestly priced night where your out-of-pocket cost is essentially zero, while the 30,000 point free night is obviously best if you could use it at a night worth 30,000 points. The 30,000 anniversary points offer some degree of flexibility with redeeming across the different levels, though note that by redeeming a future 5,000 point night, which is 3,750 points with the 25% discount, you'll get a whopping 8 nights while also clearing the 5-night hurdle for the 30,000 point free night. If you're trying to save loads on more economical stays, you really can't do that much better than the Wyndham Premier. Somewhat of a different story with the Hilton Aspire, which offers $100 in annual credits for spend at Waldorf Astoria or Conrad, a $200 semi-annual credit at Hilton Resorts, an annual free night reward, and opportunities to spend towards a second or third free night reward. The Waldorf Astoria and Conrad credit isn't especially valuable or easy to use, given that you have to stay a minimum of 2 nights, leading to an inevitably high out-of-pocket cost. The resort credit is certainly more versatile, as you can put it towards the room rate, and there is a range of modest and bougier resorts. The free night reward, however, is by far best used on a more premium property, given that it's gonna cost you that one free night reward regardless of whether you spend it on a $200 DoubleTree or a $1,000 Waldorf Astoria. Then, with the Bonvoy Brilliant, the value comes even more so from premium stays. The $100 annual property credit is only good for Ritz-Carlton's or St. Regis's, arguably Marriott's 2 highest-end properties, and the $85K free night reward is again best used at its maximum value, which can be a $110,000 redemption if you top up the free night with the maximum 25,000 points. I'd certainly go with the Hilton Aspire over the Bonvoy Brilliant in terms of free or discounted nights, given that the free night reward is uncapped while the Bonvoy Brilliant is capped. Also, the $100 premium hotel stay credit effectively cancel each other out, and the resort credit on the Hilton Aspire is extra. Then, compared to the Wyndham Premier, it should still offer more upside in terms of your redemptions, unless with the Wyndham Premier you're redeeming at peak periods. While the Wyndham Premier is undoubtedly better if you're focused solely on economical stays, I can't imagine that that is the case for most people who hold a premium hotel card, and so the winner has to be the Hilton Aspire. Now on to elite status, where we're comparing Wyndham Diamond to Hilton Diamond to Bonvoy Platinum. With any hotel elite status, the main benefits that you really want to look out for are early check-in, late checkout, free breakfast, free lounge access, as well as upgrades to suites. Naturally, these benefits are more valuable at more premium properties, which puts the Wyndham Diamond status at a disadvantage. Coupled with how the status doesn't come with free breakfast or lounge access, it puts Wyndham Diamond at last place. Previously, the Caesars Reward status match then allowed you to match to all kinds of other statuses, which would have made the Wyndham Diamond a lot more competitive, but alas. Hilton Diamond, on the other hand, comes with free breakfast and lounge access, albeit with no early check-in and late checkout not being guaranteed. I'm sure you could secure the early check-in simply by asking ahead of time, especially if you're outside of the US where you're competing with fewer Hilton Diamond people, and in terms of the late checkout, it's only guaranteed for 4 p.m. with the higher Diamond Reserve status. Bonvoy Platinum, however, does come with guaranteed 4 p.m. late checkout, as well as free breakfast and lounge access, though the latter two are typically combined together as one benefit. Furthermore, the 25 Elite Night credits offered by the Bonvoy Brilliant get you a third of the way to Bonvoy Titanium status. The winner in terms of Elite status narrowly goes to Bonvoy Platinum via the Bonvoy Brilliant card, though also when you consider that the Hilton Aspire is $100 cheaper, I would more so call it a tie between the two. Of course, if you're staying at one of these hotel brands, it's typically while you're traveling, and so naturally things like flight or car rental benefits can come in handy. In this regard, the Wyndham Premier offers a global entry credit, National Emerald Club executive car rental status, plus Avis and budget upgrades via the Diamond status. While common with other premium credit cards, global entry is always nice to have when you're going through airport security. Car rental perks like skipping the line and car upgrades typically aren't that noteworthy. The Hilton Aspire offers the same National Emerald status, but instead of global entry, you get a Clear Plus credit and $50 in quarterly flight credits. I think that the flight credits and Clear Plus credit, especially when you already get global entry from other cards, puts the Hilton Aspire over the Wyndham Premier in terms of non-hotel travel benefits, even when you consider the higher annual fee. Clear costs decently more than global entry if you're paying in cash, and while you can't value the quarterly flight credits at the full $200 of aggregate value, you can get pretty close given your unique situations and by doing things like purchasing American Airlines gift cards or buying points on sale. Then, compared to the Bonvoy Brilliant with its global entry credit and priority pass lounge access, it really just depends on how often you'll be going to lounges. $50 a quarter, which matches the value of the Hilton Aspire's flight credits, could be a reasonable average value that one would get in a quarter from Priority Pass lounge visits, and so assuming that the two cancel out, it's just Clear versus global entry, and so the Hilton Aspire with Clear wins out. Not a lot of love for the Wyndham Premier yet, though that may well change when we get to non-travel benefits. For one, we can completely disregard the Hilton Aspire, given that it doesn't have any non-travel benefits to speak of. Okay, there are non-travel protections such as purchase and return protection, but we're not going to get into that topic in this video. So let's see, Wyndham Premier versus Bonvoy Brilliant, where the latter just has a $25 monthly dining credit. Other than the monthly cadence being a little bit annoying, which frankly you can circumvent by doing things like buying gift cards, the dining credit is pretty easy to use as long as you dine out a little bit. The Wyndham Premier offers a much broader range of lifestyle credits, albeit at smaller amounts. $10 monthly dining delivery credit, so things like Uber Eats and DoorDash, $100 calendar year streaming credit, which includes pretty much all the common streaming services, and a $65 calendar year credit for wholesale membership clubs like Costco and Sam's Club. There's also complimentary Wyndham Insider membership, which would cost $95 out of pocket, but I do not really have any experience with that, and so I'm not really going to try and talk about it. So disregarding that membership, we have a single monthly dining credit versus a wide range of other credits, some of which may be easier to use given their annual frequency. If you already shop at Costco and pay for the annual HBO Max subscription, then you can value those credits at full value. Yes, the overall top end value of the aggregated credits is still less on the Wyndham Premier compared to the Bonvoy Brilliant, $285 versus $300. Though it's close enough, and considering the far lesser annual fee on the Wyndham Premier, we're going to give the first win to the Wyndham Premier. Lastly, we have the multipliers. I need to start by establishing that hotel credit cards, even premium ones, generally aren't good for earning multipliers unless if you're just spending at the hotel directly. Even if there are bonus categories, you're generally better off using a flexible points card that share in those bonus categories. For instance, the $95 City Strata Premier earns 3x thank you points across a broad range of categories, and 3x thank you points is far better than any of the non-hotel multipliers that we'll be talking about. With that out of the way, the Wyndham Premier offers 8x on Wyndham purchases, 4x on vacation clubs, travel, dining, and grocery stores, 1x on everything else. Using the frequent miler's reasonable redemption value of 0.67 cents per point, we have 5.36%, 2.68%, and 0.67% back in cash value, respectively. The Hilton Aspire offers 14x on Hilton purchases, 7x on select dining and travel, 3x on everything else, which based on a 0.35 cents per point reasonable redemption value, we have 4.9%, 2.45%, and 1.05% respectively. Despite the worst catch-all, which shouldn't really be utilized anyway, the Wyndham Premier has the Hilton Aspire beat in terms of the other categories. Then, the Bonvoy Brilliant offers 6x on Marriott purchases, 3x on restaurants and flights, 2x on everything else, making for 4.62%, 2.31%, and 1.54% respectively, based on a 0.77 cents per point reasonable redemption value. Same deal, while the Wyndham Premier loses out in terms of the catch-all multiplier, it wins out in the other multipliers, and so the overall winner goes to the Wyndham Premier. With one caveat, as if you're usually redeeming your points at higher end properties, then your Hilton or Marriott points will take on higher value than the reasonable redemption values that we spoke of. The same applies for Wyndham, though, as we mentioned before, it just has fewer high-end properties. And with that, we have the Hilton Aspire as the general overall best in terms of free or discounted hotel nights and non-hotel travel benefits, the Wyndham Premier in terms of non-travel benefits and multipliers, and a tie between the Hilton Aspire and Bonvoy Brilliant when it comes to elite status. It's somewhat counterintuitive to get a hotel credit cards for the non-hotel related benefits, which puts the Wyndham Premier not in the best light at all, though one thing that we revealed throughout this video is that the Wyndham Premier is probably your best bet if you're focused on redeeming economical nights. That said, this debate is highly subjective and needs to be tailored to your unique spending and travel habits, and so I'd love to hear your thoughts about this comparison in the comments. And if you've made it to this point in the video, consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel. And if you like credit card comparison videos like this one, check out this trifecta battle video on screen. Here's your card nerd signing off, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.